has an accusative as the object, it will mean the "a" will be on account of. Now, we're going to see this in the flip chart, the way this works. This is just a little circle which would show some of the spatial prepositions. Now, the dative, in paragraph 81, 82, in Machen, you'll see he talks about the dative being the case of rest in the place. Accusative is the case of motion toward, and the genitive is the case of going from, so the case of separation. So the accusative, motion toward, the dative, rest in a place, and the genitive is the case of separation. So you'd expect then for one that means into, east, you expect east to mean to be with the accusative. East, motion, or going into. Pros, toward. Pros, toward, there, you'd be with the accusative as well. En means in, so that would be the case of rest in a place. Ek means out of, that's separation, so ek would be with the genitive. Through, the a, with the accusative, genitive is through, so the a then, through. The a, through. And from, apo, from, separation. So we'll be putting other prepositions in here in this circle as we go along, and we'll refer back to this at other times. So remember that, the accusative, the case of motion toward, dative, rest in a place, genitive, the case of separation from, according to Machen's paragraphs 80, 81, 82. Now, we need to look also at the way we're going to test these prepositions. In the workbook on page 15b, you see a page where we have some of the prepositions listed, and we're going to have more of those as well. You see in, we have in with the dative in. So if I give you a little quiz, it would be, I'd have all the prepositions listed here that we have, and then blanks out here, and you would simply put the meaning under the particular case which that preposition takes. So you see in takes the dative, so you put the meaning there, in. The a takes either the genitive or the accusative. When it takes the genitive as its object, then it would be through. When it takes accusative as its object, it would be on account of. So those are the, we'll be filling others in. In fact, you ought to fill in all of those that we have so far. Just fill them right in and put the meaning where it goes there. You may want to type that in, be just as neat as this fine typing is here. Now, in the workbook, we have at the bottom of page 15 the method for diagramming. The only new thing we have here is the diagram. Where do you put it? How do you show the relationship between one thing and another? And for now, all of our prepositional phrases will be adverbial, meaning that they will be diagrammed under the verb. Until further notice, every preposition you get, the prepositional phrase will be diagrammed under the verb. If you had in, and then as we have it in the workbook, cosmo, or cosmo, make that cosmo, cosmo, in cosmo, and then to, of course, is the article. The disciples are remaining in the world. Now, disciples in world, where are they in relation to the world? They are in the world. So that's showing relationship. Diagram all prepositional phrases under the verb. They are adverbial. Now, in your homeworks, you'll see that he's going to bring in many diagrams of, or many prepositions for you to diagram in the exercises. And I want to call your attention in page 43 of Machen to one footnote. Now, he's referring to sentence number 4. Notice he says, the man is saying a good word to the disciples and is leading the disciples to the Lord. Now, this should call calls you to have a little question about the word to. Remember, we can say in English to as a translation of the dative, to the disciples. Or you can use it, in this case, as pros with the accusative. Now, which is it going to be? Well, his answer is this. Care should be taken to distinguish the two ways in which the English word to is used in this sentence. Well, that's fine. Let's take care to distinguish, but how are we going to do that? So we have two options then. The options are, when we have the word to, we will translate it either with a dative, or to equaling pros. Pros with the accusative. Now, the question is, which will it be? Little rule of thumb I think we can use is this, that if it means for the benefit of, if the to means for the benefit of, it will be dative. If it means motion toward, then it will be pros with the accusative. So if you have the word to in English, in your English sentence, and you wonder how shall I translate it into Greek? If the idea of the to is for the benefit of, translate it with the dative. If the idea of the to is motion toward, translate it pros with the accusative. Now let's look at that and see how it works in that particular sentence. The man is saying a good word to the disciples. Now, that is not motion toward. That is for the benefit of. And he is leading the disciples to the Lord. Now, that's not for the benefit of, that's motion toward. See? So go through there and make that test of all the words to, T-O, and see if you can get that squared away in your mind. Keep that in mind, that it's for the benefit of is a dative, motion toward is pros with the accusative. Now that takes care of our chapter 7. The only new thing we received here was prepositions. And so do your translation of those, diagram, translate, just as we always have, 10 Greek to English, and then 5 of the English to Greek. You can do extras, you know. You can do extra credit, as we've indicated to you on previous times. Do extra credit, and you can get that added onto your grade for the homeworks and therefore for the course. After you finish those, then we'll go on to lesson 8.